got 3 separate files open in 3 separate document tabs here in Photoshop, and I want to show you how you can move content from one document to another. There's a couple of different ways you can do this. I'm going to do sort of the, I think visually the easiest thing to understand. So I'm going to undock the George JPEG file. So undocking it means I'm just grabbing it and pulling it down, so it's a floating window. Now if I undock T-bow and have that floating, now I have the ability to work in the canvas space and do what I want. So for example, with my move tool active, again that's quick key V, I can take T-bow, so I'm going to grab him with my move tool and I can move him to any of these other documents that are currently open. You can see the icon with a little plus. So if I push it on top of the George JPEG, he will show up there. Okay? And when I have that file active, it shows T-bow added as a second layer. I can take T-bow and I can push him to this one with my move tool. Now he's in the building file. Okay? So the way you can tell which layers you're looking at is which document tab is highlighted, whether it's floating or not. I'll even undock the building here so you can see. So when I click the T-bow file, it gets confusing here. It's going to show me only the layers in that one. T-bow's showing here, but this T-bow is in the building file as a separate layer. And I can move this one down, and T-bow is also showing in the George.jpg file as a separate layer. Okay? Now that I've confused you, I want to show you a different method. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Window and I'm going to consolidate all to tabs. What this will do is push them all back up in here. Now, I want to get these files back to their original state, and I realize in another video I told you about the F12 key. If you're working on a laptop, you might not have the ability to use your function keys with the laptop. So to revert a file, you can go to the File menu and you can just choose to revert, okay, without the F12 keyboard shortcut. So if it's not working for you on your laptop, you're going to have to go through the menu. If you're working here in the lab, F12 will work. So that I have to do that for each of the 3 files in case I changed it. So we want them back to a single background layer. I didn't really do anything to this file. I don't need to revert it. And another thing you can notice here, the little asterisk means that the file has been changed since the last time it was saved. So that's another indicator that you've made a document change. So when I go back to this building file and I do the F12 or file revert, the little asterisk goes away because the last save version didn't have T-bow in there. Okay, so all I've done now is taken all 3 files back to their original state. So without undocking, I'm going to show you another method. And this is a little bit, I don't know, tricky to get at first, but I think it makes, I don't know. I'm going to show you, and you can decide however, whichever method works best for you. I'm going to click on the George JPEG, and I'm going to get him into the building by doing this. With my move tool, I'm going to grab the picture here in the canvas, and I'm going to click my left mouse button, and I'm holding it, and I'm pushing it to the building up here. I can't just let go. What I've done is I've activated the building JPEG. You can see how the tab is white with the text. And then I pull down onto the building canvas, and now I have brought George Clooney in that way. So I'm going to undo that. I'm going to show you again. Okay? So if I want to take the George file and merge it as another layer in the building, I grab George Clooney on the canvas, grab it, holding it down with my left mouse button, pushing up to activate my building JPEG, but I pull down. You can see my cursor looks like a plus. Now when I release my mouse, depending on where I release it, it will dump the picture. Okay, so I'm going to do it again. I'm going to take the T-bow file, and I'm going to take him and I'm going to push him into the building file also. Push up to the tab, pull down, And now you can see I have 3 layers. So that is another method of taking content from one separate document into another.